Eileen. Does that work? I think that's what I need to do. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah, I muted the wrong screen. I muted the OBS screen instead of my Twitch feed so that I could see the chat. Boy, there is a delay on the visual between the Twitch feed and the OBS feed. So it's weird watching the Twitch stream and seeing that I'm behind. Yeah, it is weird. It is weird to be tied to a keyboard. Hi, by the way. Yeah, somebody's in on As Above Academy. That must be, I see Robin and I see James. Okay. Ah. Oh, and there's Ariana. Oh, good. I got a full house. This feels good. Well, I guess I can go ahead and start. It feels like it's that time, and we've all landed. Welcome to the As Above Academy live chat stream. I'm grateful to be here among such lovely people. Oh, and I see Jay's here too. Hello, Jay. Good to not see you, but hear from you again. So, welcome to our live chat stream. I want to thank Ariana for yesterday talking about the As Above Academy value of attunement. And I sat with attunement all day yesterday after listening to her share. And what came clear to me was why I feel so attracted to attunement. And there's something about attunement. If we start to feel into the world as vibration, as frequency, as energy, as much as we feel into it as being like objects in space and time, something starts to happen with attunement. We can sense when, at least I can sense when another person is radiating a certain energetic frequency. And that frequency may not be represented accurately by the words that they're speaking or the way that they're physically expressing. And I think most of us have had the experience of someone who looks at us and says, I'm not angry. And there is a discontinuity between the words and the nonverbal signal. And that can be very disconcerting for us when we have to decide which signal is the more accurate assessment of where the other person is, what they're feeling, what's going on inside of them. And most of the time, the nonverbal signals have as much or more value as the verbal cues. So, learning to attune to someone else's frequency, to feel into what is the quality of energy that they are radiating, so I can understand the internal atmosphere that is their come from, that helps me understand not who the person is, but where they are in this particular moment. Is there a storm taking place inside their mind that's creating chaos and upset and anger and separation and fear? Because if that's the radiant frequency, it changes the way that they think about the world, that they interpret their situation, and that they express what they're experiencing. And conversely, if I look at myself and say, what's the frequency or the atmosphere of my inner space? What's the quality of that container of awareness through which I am receiving signal from other people and then interpreting it in my own way? And I notice that the more that I can kind of hold this inner clarity, this looseness of spacious receptivity internally, and the less I'm filtering other people through active processing signal, like my own anger, my own upset, my feelings of insecurity, my irritation or frustration, whatever, or even my joy or my wanting something to be a certain way that somebody else isn't feeling. If I have all that already packed into my awareness, it's kind of full. And it's really hard for someone else's frequency to come in and sort of make itself at home and stretch and wave and undulate and attune with mine in a way that feels resonant. And for me, that's the key. It's not just merely about attunement, which helps me get an accurate bead on where I am in relationship to someone else in terms of this inner atmospheric condition. But it's also a curiosity around what frequencies is this other person entertaining that feel resonant with the frequencies that I enjoy feeling, experiencing, having moved through me and vibrate my cells and my beingness. Yes, Ariana, it is all energy in so many ways, and yet it moves through these densities that we call objects. We are sort of, in many ways, I would describe myself as a filtration system and as a capacitor, because a filtration system, decides what's coming in, how deeply, and what's going to be done with what's brought in. And the capacitor determines how to transform the energy coming in into something useful in the moment. So I own a part of that process. It's not just all happening to me, it's happening for and through me. So I think what I'm coming to, as I put more attention on attunement and how it feels to be attuned with other people, is that added dimension of resonance. Are we speaking at the same frequency? Are we present to our sensory bodies to the same degree? Are we feeling into this shared space that we are co-creating with respect for the other person's awareness and reverence for the fragility and the mystery of our bodies and our spirits? Is what I'm bringing into shared space and inviting someone else to explore with me something that is interesting to them, that helps their soul learn something new, explore, expand, evolve, experience, express, embody something that ennobles them in some way? These are questions now that I get to play with regarding my own behavior in shared space. Because when I look at it energetically, it takes on a different tone than when I'm simply experiencing shared space as a separate person or being or entity who is navigating reality with other separate beings. Something about, yeah, harmonious and harmonize, Ariana says. And I think that's exactly it, is that we have an intuitive desire for harmony. We don't necessarily enjoy dissonance. When someone plays the piano discordantly, it tends to jangle us. We have mirror neurons in our brain that are looking for ways to generate resonance and connectivity. We are, by definition, relational beings. It's a way of being in the world energetically that is interpenetrative, interconnected, and ultimately, if we do ourselves in a way that enables resonance, it is harmonious. And we are harmonizing as we co create. So I'm finding so much more of my attention wanting to be given to how I'm showing up in shared space and the conditions inside my own inner atmosphere into which I am inviting other people to walk with me and to look at what I'm holding inside of me. And I like to treat my inner garden of thinking and feeling and opining and interpreting much the way I treat my home. If I'm inviting you to come in, pull up a chair and hang out with me, what's my accountability to make sure that my home is clean and is inviting, and that maybe I've got the fireplace lit and soft music playing and a little snack on the table and a cushion for your seat so that it's comfortable for you to stick around and enjoy being with me. And as a hostess, I like to perform those acts of love and service for other people before I invite them in. So when I take that metaphor and I apply it to my own inner thoughts, I recognize that when I'm sharing my thoughts with you, I'm actually asking for the gift of your attention to take this walk with me, to come into my mind and to feel the feelings that are radiant from my heart, and to root yourself in the soulfulness of my direct experience and how I interpret my direct experience. And I feel like I have some responsibility to you as a self aware being to be reverent and grateful for the gift of the power of your attention. If you are going to take a walk through my mind and my heart and my soul space alongside me. So I'm not responsible for the contents of my mind activating challenges in you or triggering experiences that might be challenging for you to perceive. But I am accountable for noticing your discomfort, for being conscious of the differences in sensibilities and sensitivities and sensations and sentience itself, and honoring your freedom to say no at any time. This is not for me. This doesn't feel good. I need to take a step back from what you're showing me and take care of me. And I want to honor that when other people hit those boundaries in themselves, instead of feeling sad that they're not staying on the journey with me. And then I can look to myself and say, how can I be different in those moments? In support of the fact that we all have different ways of experiencing reality and different sensitivities and sensibilities. And what I'm comfortable and familiar with and have already suffered through and may want to share with you may be brand new to you. So, how I walk you through that, if I want you to walk through it with me, matters. I guess that's what I'm saying. Is that these days I prefer to be attuned to myself soulfully, to be attuned and aware of my own radiant heart Is it contracted and constricted, or am I radiating peace and welcome for all who might enter here? And I look to my mind and I look to see, does it feel clear? Is there enough sunshine and light and uh, just general calm that somebody coming in isn't going to feel uprooted and spun out and bashed in the head by circulating 2x4s? and, and if that's the case, what do I owe it to them to make them aware of that possibility before I invite them in? So, looking at awareness as the spacious opportunity to share our most intimate insights with others changes the calculus for how I tend to my innards. As within, so without. To complete that particular thought, and which our academy is based on, the As Above Academy, as within, so without, is when there's equilibrium between how I'm feeling internally and what my external experience is. I'm in balance. As above, so below is the primary tenet of that statement. And for me, that is really about the small self, my little ego separated self, is at heart, its soul, in the formless state, the same as the allness within which it nests. And when I know that, there is a sense of belonging, even though I'm tiny. And then finally, as the universe, so the soul, that lands on me that whatever patterns and energetic frequencies are alive and moving and potentiated within the vastness of the universe are also accessible and potentiated within me. And the question becomes, am I ready to receive the information and the experience and the feedback that is vital to my own soul's growth for me to experience those patterns in new ways? So it's all a grand experiment, and that is what we are doing here, is talking about these things that we wonder and are exploring and maybe don't have answers for, but appreciate as opportunities to be explorers in the realm of consciousness. And who knows how far, wide, deep, or wondrous that field ultimately is. Let's find out together. Thanks for playing, and if any of you have any questions or things you want to talk about or responses, I'm happy to play with the chat. You're welcome, Mariana. I've really been enjoying this idea of the mind as shared space when I invite someone to explore my thoughts with me. The way I treat my home being the way I treat my inner space when I invite you in. And I hope it's warm and accommodating and inviting enough for you to want to come back. Thanks, everyone. Y'all have a beautiful day.